Larry Krueger, who I had a chance to catch up with during the Super Bowl. It was nice to see him and his buddy Gary. Gary and Larry, KNBR 680, part of the CBS family. What's happening, Krugs? How are you today, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
All is good. Listen, I'm curious because as we do a national show, we tend to gloss over things, particularly baseball, which has become increasingly, sadly, more regional. And we kind of gloss over stuff like, well, they got Cueto, well, they got Samardzija, well, they got Denard Span. Of the three, I actually think the Span move could actually be the best. Where is Cueto right now? He didn't finish up strongly a year ago. And Samardzija, no certainty to bounce back either. Are you fully convinced that they put up numbers that are at least, 85% of what they've done for the meat of their career?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
In a word, no. I mean, Brandon, this rotation's been a nightmare this spring. Just give you an idea. The five guys who are slated to be in their rotation have a combined 9.76 ERA. Johnny Cueto's got a 16.6 ERA. Samardzija, who was hit hard last year, has almost a 9-point himself. So, not to mention the people that I've talked to about Samardzija say he hasn't broken 93. So, in a lot of ways, people are whispering that he could be the next Tim Lincecum. A guy who never had command and really always got by on superior stuff, and his stuff may be fading. So the Giants just gave him $90 million. They're hoping that Righetti and Gardner in the ballpark and the infield defense the Giants provide will be enough to turn him around. To this point, I'm not convinced. Now, it is Cactus League, and it is Arizona. The ball jumps, but it hasn't looked good on paper thus far.
Yeah, and the defense you referenced, pretty tight. Crawford's really good. Belt can pick it, and Paddock's good up the middle as well, and we'll get to that. But you know this, Larry, we are way past the point of just throwing show-me fastballs to get the arm loosened up. At this point, you dip it into the repertoire, and if the radar's not reading the right thing and the secondary stuff isn't popping, maybe there is something to be concerned about. Where's Matt Cain? You didn't mention him. How's Matt Cain coming along?
10-point ERA this spring.
Oh my
Just
God!
The other day for the first time, he had a procedure done to take a cyst off of his shoulder, so he was delayed a little bit off the start. But this is a huge year for him too, Brandon. This guy's got to deliver. The Giants have him under contract for over $20 million for the next 3 seasons.
Wow.
He's got to deliver. I think what's going to happen here is one or two of these guys is not going to be any good, and they're going to have to lean on their farm system. Now the question is, can they? Clayton Blackburn led the PCL in ERA last year. Chris Heston threw a no-hitter against the Mets at Citi Field, but faded late. They got a couple young arms behind those guys they like as well. It's going to be really interesting to see if their farm system kind of matures fast enough to save a veteran rotation full of guys making a boatload of cash, but aren't necessarily producing.
Wow, not a very good scouting report so far. The Giants, Larry Krueger with us here. Of course, Gary and Larry, one of the real popular shows out there in the Bay Area, KNBR 680 with us here on Tiki and Tierney.
Larry, it is that even year, and you know that the Giants have to get in the World Series and win it because that's what they do in even years, and you're not painting a rosy picture with the rotation. But you got to be excited about the lineup, right? Especially the middle of it. Matt Duffy, who replaced Pablo, it was a surprise, I think, at third base. But Buster and Hunter Pence and Brandon Belt, those guys, that's where you have to find some excitement for the Giants team, right?
Really, Tiki, it's everything but the rotation. They have a terrific lineup.